Hey everybody, welcome into Northern Life here with Briggs. I am Ryan. Thank you for being here on this Thursday. And so before the show started, we have our things in our ears called IFBs that we are able to hear Seth with. And mine for the past few days has just been like not working properly. So the camera all of a sudden came on and the record button hit. And I'm just sitting here and smiling and waiting
Dead
for Seth.
silence, yeah.
So it has been fixed. We've figured it out. So, hopefully maybe I have to do some cleaning with it or figure out the wiring of it all. But it's been an issue.
Yeah, nothing worse than when their little earpiece doesn't work and you can't hear what's going on. You feel like you're, walking into something with your eyes closed.
And speaking of other news-related things, we didn't have a show yesterday due to the federal holiday. We were planning on having a show, but it's kind of weird in the newsroom sometimes where a lot of us are working, but a lot of us aren't working. So a lot of the creative people upstairs were not working yesterday. So that's why we did not have a show. It's because we just didn't have the personnel to fulfill the request of doing it.
So instead, you got a fun rerun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See, the second time around is probably even better than the first, hopefully.
But now we get to put our usual Wednesday things later on in the week.
We love to
Always
see
fun.
it. Well, hey, today on Northern Life, Rachel Hackbarth is trying another Does It Work product. Today's is an instant button attacher, looking to help you fix those fashion problems when you're in a pinch, something we can all use.
Always got some fashion problems. So we'll wrap up with an informational series with our Essentia Health friends, getting our final race day keys and tips that can lead to a successful run both tomorrow and on Saturday. Good luck to all those racers out there too. We'll for sure talk about more about grandmas tomorrow too, right before the weekend. Well, it's one of the things we're asked to talk about the most here, probably at Northern News Now, if not Northern Life. With construction in full swing here in the Northland, it is time to do the zipper merge. MnDOT. The dreaded zipper merge. MnDOT sharing a graphic on their Facebook page just wanting you to use both lanes of traffic when it is indeed backed up and resist that urge to be the person that merges early. It may feel strange, but it actually helps reduce congestion and the overall length of traffic backup as much as 40%.
Sure it does. I don't know. I don't believe it. I'm not. People are going to come for me on this. I'm not a zipper merger. I get too nervous. I am an epitome of what I think all Minnesotans feel when it comes to the zipper merge, because we just don't see it happen here. But I just feel guilty. I don't want to zoom past a bunch of people that are already lined up, even though that's what you're allegedly supposed to do. I still feel bad.
It is. I would say it is definitely it is definitely a Minnesota thing, or if not Wisconsin thing, where you feel bad because you're like, I'm the one who got all the way to the end, and somebody was nice enough to let me in, and the one-for-one card type situation. The way I kind of think about it now is like when you're leaving a sporting event or something out of an arena, and you're in a huge crowd, you all kind of allow each other to go through the doorway as opposed to letting one side just go and the other side staying back.
Oh, that's a good comparison. I like that. I'm gonna have to let my guilt go, leave it behind me, and just zoom past. Because if the science says, I'll follow the science. If they say it's faster,
if it says it's 40,
I am trying to get where I'm going faster, so I'll believe it. I guess.
If MnDOT says it's going to reduce congestion by as much as 40%, that backup, might as well take their word for it. They know what they know what they're doing. They've seen a thing or two about backup in traffic.
Transportation leaders for a reason. This month marks 40 years since the release of Prince's Purple Rain. Believe it or not, that's both the film and the soundtrack. So this weekend, the Twin Cities will be celebrating the anniversary in numerous ways, from free dance parties to live performances, and an impressive new book stuffed with rare photos and new interviews that shed further light on Prince's once-in-a-lifetime creativity. Truly, not only a Minnesota icon, but just an international music icon as well. So cool that we can claim him as a Minnesotan, and it's so sad. It's been 6 years since he passed?
I think it's been 2016, I believe, was his death. So about 8 years or so. But
still cool to see that they're continuing to honor his legacy in this way. Have you ever been to the?
I have been to Paisley Park.
Paisley Park.
Yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
really cool, and it's also cool to see Prince was actually a huge basketball fan too. So he loved our Minnesota basketball teams. I think we've talked about this before, but as growing up, you go, oh, Prince passed away. Very sad, but it's not to the same level as our parents connected with them, because it was such a, they were around our age when Prince came out with all that music. So definitely left an impact on a whole lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of, connections to that music. So I'm sure, it brings back a lot of memories for folks to hear amazing songs like Purple Rain. Certainly a classic and one that I always, turn up when it comes on the radio.
Turn it up. I bet the 80s were fun to live in, too, with all that of music.
100%.
All that rockin' music would have been a fun time. Well, school on break, some Americans are willing to break the bank for a Disney vacation. Nearly half of parents in the U.S. say they're going into debt during that trip seeing Mickey, Minnie, and all those legendary characters. That's according to a survey from Lending Tree that just came out. The average family breaks the budget by nearly $2,000 on that trip, in some cases needing a few months to fully pay off that tab. And many folks blame pricey foods and souvenirs for busting their budgets.
Yeah, that is one expensive trip. I went to Disney when I was, I don't know, it must have been like 3rd or 4th grade or something, which I felt was a good age to go.
Yeah.
It was perfect because I remember the trip. I was tall enough to do like a lot of the rides.
That would have been sad.
Right, and not too scared, to do some of the big roller coasters. So I feel like I got to experience it in its fullest, but with a price tag like that, you sometimes just can't justify going back. Like, kudos to my parents, obviously they foot the bill when I was in 3rd grade, but she's
they didn't ask you to do more chores or anything?
I'm sure they did. I probably had to help out around the house for several years after that, but man, have you been to Disney?
I've been to both Disneyland and Disney World, but as an adult now, it'd be hard to not go. I mean, the problem I have is I'm not a very patient person.
Oh,
so
you got to get that fast and spend even more money.
You got to spend it. You got to burst the budget even more. But I have a problem with waiting so long for a single ride. So then it takes 2 hours of your day. I like to plan things out too. So if you say, okay, let's do these amount of rides in this period of time, and it takes one ride just to do all those you had planned out, kind of stinks.
Yeah, my friends, they got one of those like annual passes where you can just go as many times as you want throughout the year for a decent price. It pays if you go a lot.
Big Disney fans.
Yeah, coming up, we're fixing that pesky fashions problem during this week's Does It Work? We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Losing a button on your clothing can always be unfortunate, of course, but what if you could have a mini sewing machine right in your pocket?
And it's apparently pretty affordable and pain-free. Here's Rachel Hackbarth with today's Does It Work?
At Tanya Lorenz's family bridal shop, she works with a lot of brides who sometimes want a lot of buttons on their dresses. She's going to help us test out the 1995 Fashion First Aid Instant Button Attacher. Instead of using needle and thread to make repairs, you just press this trigger, instantly fixing any fashion emergencies.
What if the button ripped off right before they were going to the aisle?
While she's done her research, Tanya has never tried this device before.
It looks like it's got like a little needle thing here that you're supposed to keep covered. And then you feed these little things into here and then push the needle.
The instructions show us only these 4 steps.
I guess you could use it with a button, or you might be able to just use this and just stick a shirt shut.
We're going to see if we can fix this dress that's currently being held together with a safety pin.
Ready?
Yes.
There you go. Works perfectly.
We find the plastic barb is almost perfectly hidden with that small button.
To do it, that's awesome. This would definitely work for wedding dresses.
But we want to see if it works for larger buttons.
See? And then it just goes through there.
While that plastic attachment is not hidden as well with the larger button, Tanya believes it's still a great product.
I think it works. I would give it a 9 out of 10.
For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Hackbarth.
Well, if it's good enough for that bridal store seamstress, good enough for me. I mean, those buttons on bridal dresses have to be very, I'm sure, specific. So, man, interesting.
They certainly do. Also, not to roast Rachel Hackbarth, she did not provide us a script to read that, so I had to go find the product online and, write our own intro for it. So, we love you, Rachel. But, look, check out all these buttons.
Look at those.
So, if I lost a button, here's what would happen in my household. If I lost a button and I'm here in Duluth, I would wait until I'm back home in Maple Grove for my lovely mother, Carol Half, to sew that button back on my shirt, because while I did take a costume class in college and probably could do it myself, I need to go out and actually buy the sewing thread and everything, the needle, whatever you call it.
My only experience with sewing is from Girl Scouts, like way back in the day, and so I don't know if my hands could still do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I could figure it out, but it would be like hanging in about a day or
Sure.
so, right off the shirt again.
Well, here's a testament too to the product. As I was trying to look for it online, I found it on Amazon, and it's currently unavailable on Amazon, I believe, due to the popularity, if not the great use of it all.
Probably due to Rachel Hackbarth's rave reviews here with her friend at the bridal store.
I believe Rachel Hackbarth is based in Wichita, so the people of Wichita, those viewers, probably bought them all up. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's get to this week's viewer comment, shall we? We'll begin with a pair of lovely ones, including one from Sherry, who says, "We've been watching you guys from the beginning. What a great show," she says. "It's still our favorite, and you guys always make us laugh, even when we've had a tough day." And that is our very favorite compliment. Always good to put smiles on folks' faces, especially when and they might be having a tough day out there.
Yeah.
So then we also have Liz, who told us, "We watch every night. And how have you guys not been picked up nationwide yet?" Man, you're telling me. I don't know why.
It's a mystery.
Absolute mystery. Our friends at the Jason Show, they saw some early success, and look at them now. They've got like Chicago, Orlando, I think Seattle too. So
just give it 9
sky's
years,
the
or
limit.
however long Jason's been on. Jason's been on about 9 years. The problem, I believe, if we went nationwide, if that ever were to happen, would be people would turn on the TV and they go, "What are these Canadians talking about?"
We'd have to change the show to USA Life.
Yeah, USA Life.
American Life.
But they'd be like, "Those accents, tough to get by there." Yeah, but thank you for those lovely comments. After I shared my driving intersection problem I was having with Hunter and you all folks out there, it seems I was indeed in the wrong, sadly. I'm proud enough to admit that. Christine let me know, if you had a yield sign, you need to stop and wait. Good to know. Thank you, Christine. And then next, Brian told me, green light is not for that yielding turn lane. Let Hunter drive next time, and that problem is solved. I'm gonna get some ice for that burn. That
was a big burn.
I was definitely in the wrong. Especially it hurts too. I'm proud. Like I said, I'm proud enough to admit that I was wrong. But my father in the Facebook comments too said, "Son, you're not right."
I saw. He was even roasty too.
Yeah,
there is one spot in Duluth that it irks me every single time because I didn't get to be a part of this conversation, so I have to enter it now myself a little after the fact. But you're going up 21st Avenue East, right?
Yep.
And you're kind of trying to veer on to Woodland Avenue.
Ooh,
Sometimes people stop there when they see it's just a yield. You don't have to stop there. There's even a sign now that says,
"You got your own lane."
Yep, you can keep going. You don't have to yield if you're still going into the own lane.
That does make me upset sometimes.
I know. And then you have to jam on the brakes and.
I'm sure they're like UMD visiting parents, They're hoping to see their kid.
Out of town folk. Just trying to be safe on the road.
Yeah, just trying to be safe. We understand. Yeah.
I just don't want to rear end anyone, Well, after our wonderful day in Virginia, Minnesota, Terry Jo had a question about those ice bumper cars. She said, "Looks like so much fun. The grandkids would love that. Is there any age or height restrictions?" I don't believe so.
I believe it was height, possibly.
Height? Okay.
Yeah, I think it just had to be a certain height.
Probably to reach, everything and be safe.
And then I believe we had one final comment quickly. Seth, could you please pull it up? Our prompter appears to be running away. Hunter playing golf. Hope there's no windows close in Virginia, Minnesota. Yeah. Not many windows close, so thankful for that. When we come back, runners, you won't want to miss the final pointers from Essentia Health.
Hey everyone, welcome back. The clock is ticking for anybody who's running one of the several Grandma's Marathon races this weekend. Saturday is the big day already, if you can believe it, and we have Essentia Health athletic trainer here, Christina Nisler, back in studio talking about what we should do in the final days before the big race, a critical time. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the obvious question, first off, what should runners be doing right now?
Yeah, so we're down to the last 48 hours, basically. Get your best sleep tonight. The night before the race, there are nerves, there's excitement, and you have to be up incredibly early tomorrow, or Saturday. So be sure to get your best sleep tonight so that you're feeling well rested, knowing that Friday nights won't be great. And now also is about the time you should start slightly increasing your carb carbohydrate intake to get ready. Yeah, so don't save it all for just the night before and gorge on pasta. Start increasing your carb servings now.
I imagine hydration should be good if you hopefully haven't, hopefully you've already been doing that, but now is a good time too for that.
Yep. Keep sipping on your water bottle all day long. Replace some non-hydrating drinks with water. If you're someone that enjoys a soda or a beer now and then, skip those tonight and have an extra serving of water.
It's tough. I'm sure a lot of friends coming in town maybe for the big race, so make sure you stick to your plan.
Yes.
Good advice there.
Save the party for after.
Absolutely. So how can you best fuel your body for race day? You mentioned lots of carbs.
Yeah.
What are some of the best ones?
Yeah, so some best ones are the simple, easily digestible carbs. So for people that are able to eat bread products, white bread, pretzels, things that are made out of corn or rice are really great options. I do a lot of potato stuff around that time.
Nice. One of my favorite events around Grandma's Marathon is the spaghetti dinner that they host tomorrow night over at the deck. So if you have time, make sure you run over there. And you can also cheer on the 5K runners during that as well. So what about the night before the big race? Any tips that maybe you've done before running a marathon that can set yourself up for the best possible circumstance in the morning?
Yeah, I would say so for dinner time, stick to something that you know. Tonight's not the night to go out and try a brand new restaurant. Have what you've been having throughout your training plan, and find something that helps you unwind and relax a little bit so you're not too stressed out. Similar to I remember in college, studying for big tests, they would say do your studying up to a certain point and then go relax. So read a good book, watch a movie, something that's off of your feet but fun and relaxing.
So if you're packing a bag to have at the finish line waiting for you, from an athletic trainer's perspective, any important things you should put in there?
Yeah, from an athletic training standpoint, when you finish your race, you're going to want a change of shoes. So either a fresh, clean pair of shoes or a pair of flip-flops maybe, something that'll let your feet air out so they're not damp and sweaty and you're sitting in that funk. You will probably want some extra water in there. We will have water and snacks in the finish line area for you, but it's always nice to have something that you know you're going to want. So if you have a favorite recovery snack that you know you're going to want to have, you can have that in your bag. And depending on what the weather is, you may want some lotion or sunscreen to put on afterwards, after the hours of sun exposure.
All right, well, crossing our finger for nice weather. We know that always makes it a little easier for the runners out there who prepared so hard for this race. So, Christina, thank you so much for all your advice over the past several weeks. Hopefully, many runners out there will be able to take it to heart. So we'll have all these tips on our website if you want to check them out. We're going to be right back here after the break with a look at what's coming up in tomorrow's show.
Tomorrow here on Northern Life, we are already looking ahead to FinFest, which is up in almost 30 days at the deck here in Duluth. We'll be chatting with their executive director, who is actually even heading to Finland, planning that event from overseas before things kick off in July.
Yeah, and what an awesome conversation, too.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from her, not only about this event having to do a lot with foreign relations.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that that's happening right here in Duluth, but they also celebrate some of the Nordic culture. We've got saunas. We've got, what is it called, floorball?
Floorball. Yeah, maybe some Finnish coffee that's on the way. Should be a lot of fun. And the fact it's an international event and we get it for what, I believe, this
5
year and then
years.
3 more after.
Yeah.
Man, pretty cool.
We are lucky here in the Twin Force. But before we go, 24-year-old American Jensen von Emberg is getting ready to represent the U.S. in Paralympic table tennis. Amazing. Von Emberg has been in a wheelchair since birth because of a spinal cord injury, and he's been playing since the age of 9. He's been spending every day training in Florida, getting ready for this year's games after taking home the bronze in Tokyo. So best of luck to him coming up. That is so impressive.
And shout out to the dedication and craft of it all.
Seriously. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.
Find some time to throw a line or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern